One can never be sure what the new morning is going to bring on or the new week. But this morning, Tesla stock is down for a host of reasons. We'll talk about all of them. And many of them are really not relevant and not really sure how much of one or the other is actually impacting prices this morning. Now, we're not going to rehash the Elon drug issue as one of those reasons or the 300,000 deaths nonsense caused by Elon, but both of those are being used by the mainstream media or the lamestream media or the used to be mainstream. Anyway, they're trying to destroy Elon any way they possibly can right now. What is relevant is that steel prices are going up. That would be obviously important. And what is more relevant is that car sales issues in Europe, yeah, they're not doing as well as we might hope in May, but they're not really that relevant. But what could be more relevant would be the production pause in Giga Texas. We'll talk about that as well. There's other stuff too. There's the FUD and the overall market being soft and tensions around the Ukraine and tariffs, especially China. And then, some people who think the Robotaxi rollout may not go as well as hoped. You know what? With all of that, it's pretty impressive that the Tesla stock is staying up at all. Staying up is not falling even more than it is right now. I think the biggest thing going on right now is a little bit of concern and worry about unit sales. And this is what I've been talking about for 3 weeks, even as I've been saying go, go, go. It looks like we're going to have FOMO and we're going to go back to all-time highs because of the Robotaxi rollout. We've got this other side of things, which is unit sales being extremely soft. And we won't really know until July 2nd what's going on for sure with all of the Tesla sales. But as May progresses, we'll get more and more information about that. Well, let's start with the good news, though. Let's start with the Musk economy, her Muskonomy, rather, Muskonomy, Muskonomy. He says, look, breaking NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang on Tesla. He says, it's safer, it's more convenient, it's more fun to drive. Well, thank you, Jensen Huang. Can't we just take that statement, maybe take a bunch of his statements, thread them together and create a commercial? Huh? Tesla, what about that idea? I think that would work. Just run it in the Silicon Valley. All right, that was the end of the good news. Literally. I mean, it's true. So Gary Black this morning is reporting about the year-over-year declines by markets. You know what? I think this is the total for the year to date. Or is this for May only? I am sorry. He says year over year declines. I think it's May. All right. So France down 67%, Portugal down 68, Netherlands down 36%, Sweden down 54, Spain down 19%, Hungary 27, Denmark 31, but Norway's up 213%. Oh, I thought I said there was no good news. Norway is up 213%. EV adoption in Norway is now at 93%. Well, okay. So what does all that mean? Jeff Lett says, look, so the net difference between last May and this May across all of those countries for the entire month is 2,000 cars. And he says that doesn't take into account that there's possibly some inventory issues in terms of no inventory available, which he said in early May when he did some checking, there was no inventory available in a lot of those markets. So what's going on with the fact that there's no inventory? How much of this is brand problem? How much of this is economic issues in Europe? Anyway, hard to say, but I'd say that this is an important thing. This is from Tip Ranks this morning. Tesla's much anticipated Robotaxi launch is stirring debate among even its most loyal Wall Street supporters. While some analysts remain optimistic about the long-term potential of autonomous ride-hailing, others are urging caution, citing regulatory hurdles, technological readiness, and unclear timelines. The mixed sentiment underscores growing investor uncertainty as the company prepares for a major unveiling. Morgan Stanley four-star rated analyst Adam Jonas is striking a cautious tone ahead of the upcoming launch, urging investors not to get swept up in the hype just yet. He added that with as many of with Jonas added that as with many of Tesla's much hype announcements, it's wise to approach the reported June 12 Cybercab launch with measured expectations. While acknowledging the excitement surrounded by the potential launch, he emphasized the importance of further clarity from Tesla before investors make any bold assumptions. That's because he believes meaningful updates may come after the event, including details around vehicle deployment, network performance, and usage metrics such as the number of miles logged, and growth indicators. Overall, Jonas remains bullish with a price target of 410. That's a good price target. And, that's for the whole year, of course. But 410 could happen pretty soon, in my humble opinion. Anyway, overall, Jonas remains bullish. And then we go to Wedbush, sees bright autonomous future for Tesla. Dan Ives sees the launch of the Robotaxi platform as a major turning point for the EV maker. He believes the initiative could unlock more than $1 trillion in value for Tesla, positioning the company at the forefront of the golden age of autonomous growth. He also points to potential support from a future Trump administration to fast-track key regulatory approvals critical to scaling autonomous technology. Ives has revised his Tesla price target multiple times this year. Along with his buy rating, his target has swung from 550 to 315, then to 350, and most recently back to 500. And that would be closer to a good price target for Tesla and would be my near-term price target, as you well know. He says, TipRank says, our Tesla share is a good buy on Wall Street. Analysts have maintained a neutral stance on Tesla stock. According to TipRank's, Tesla stock has received a hold consensus rating with 15 buys, 10 holds, and 11 sells assigned in the last 3 months. The average Tesla stock price target is 282, which is 18.4% down from the current level. So again, I don't have to repeat what I've been telling you all along. I believe the rollout will go fine. It could have bad luck, as we talked about. It could have good luck. The first couple of weeks, it'll be great to get some numbers and some expectations, and I agree with that idea. However, I do believe that the FOMO will be coming, and it might come closer to the 12th. Obviously, today is not a FOMO day. Well, it might be. The FOMO might be holding the stock from going even lower with all of that negative news. This is from Inside EVs. Everybody wants more affordable EVs. Cross the $25,000 barrier with or without any tax incentives, and you open up zero emissions transportation to an entire new class of buyers. Are really anyone fed up with how expensive new cars have become? If any automaker could pull that off outside of China or Europe, it would be Tesla. And Tesla's investors generally want the company to expand its somewhat stale lineup of cars. What? Even as makes big promises around AI and robots. In fact, Musk's own master plan from way back in 2006 promised luxury cars first, then low-cost family cars later. But things have changed, of course. But I still believe there's going to be a $25,000 car. I believe it's going to be a new vehicle. So the automotive world was a bit stunned in April last year when Reuters reported that Musk had canceled a long-awaited $25,000 EV. Musk responded by doing what he normally does in response to negative press by saying Reuters is lying, which they were. He has since alluded to some new and more affordable models coming soon, with little evidence, though. They've been very good at keeping it a secret. Today, however, Reuters reports that senior Tesla executives were taken aback. They were taken aback when Musk denied the car had been axed. To their knowledge, it was pretty much dead. And if it wasn't, well, other people needed to know about it. The executives knew that Musk had, in fact, canceled the low-cost vehicle, which many investors called the Model 2, and pivoted Tesla to focus on self-driving robotaxis. The company had told employees the project was over weeks earlier, Reuters reported, citing 3 sources in company documents. Well, I didn't see any company documents from Reuters. Musk's post was so confusing to some senior managers, they asked him whether he changed his mind. Musk rejected their concerns and said the project was still dead, according to people with knowledge of the matter. After Musk denied the Reuters report about killing the Model 2, executive questioned Musk about what the company should tell perplexed suppliers and investors. The story notes that this concern was not universally shared within the company. Some executives told Reuters that Tesla generally keeps its plans flexible for future products. Others, however, worried that the Securities and Exchange Commission could get involved if Musk misled investors about a future product line that had been baked into their forecast for the company. That is such nonsense. Car companies announce their projections and their ideas about future cars all the time and then don't do the cars. The SEC is not going to get involved. That is nuts. Regardless of all of that, it's now mid-2025. A more affordable Tesla is still missing in action, and the going theory is that any models that do arise could be just a stripped-down version of the Model Y or Model 3 and not something entirely new. Well, we'll see what happens here, but as Tesla's lineup loses steam, rivals are catching up fast. A not inconsequential number of Tesla fans have lost love for the brands thanks to Musk's political activities in recent months. Right now, it's hard to imagine something good enough to help Tesla rebound, but a car that's cheap enough for anyone to buy might make a lot of people forget their issues with Doge. They shouldn't have issues with Doge. Should be cheering Doge. In fact, the reality is this article gets it completely wrong. Doge has very high ratings. It's Elon himself that has low ratings. Trump has high ratings, 53%. Doge, I think, is around 65% positive ratings, but Elon Musk is getting low ratings. Why is that? Because the idiots in the mainstream media just keep one complete lie after another about Musk, and that was certainly true over the last couple of weeks. Teslarati says it seems apparent that it still wants to sell vehicles in India, that Tesla still wants to sell vehicles in India and establish a presence there, but it will not do it in what would consider a more traditional sense, building vehicles domestically. This is something the company has sparred with the Indian government on for several years. Now it appears that Tesla seems to have made up its mind. During a press conference earlier today, India's heavy industry minister, Sri Kumaraswamy, confirmed Tesla's plan for now is to penetrate the Indian market, but will not be doing so through domestic manufacturing in India. Is that good news or is that bad news? I've always thought that we've had many discussions on this channel with regard to India manufacturing, and for the most part, that might be a good idea with a very low-cost vehicle. But now it appears to be off the table again. So is that good news that the stock would go up? Or is that bad news, helping it to be a little bit off this morning? Okay, this from Teslarati again. India Heavy's industry minister. Oh, I got that already. How did that come up again? All right, let's see here. Breaking. No production in Giga Texas. There has been no production. This is from, who's this from? This is from Tesla Archive. There's been no production of the Model Y and Cybertruck all week in Giga Texas, with the framing of the north side building, expected to be completed next week. But other reporting says that Giga Texas is back in production as of now. So there was some kind of, this is also from Giga Archive, the reported production halt at Giga Texas for May was likely a planned pause for upgrades or maintenance coinciding with Memorial Day. Production has apparently resumed on June 2nd, though exact details are unclear. Cybercaps, probably referring to Cybertruck production capacity, which was over 1,000 units per week in April, maybe higher now. No specific June data available. That was a lot of news for Monday morning. This is Randy Kirk. Please hit like, subscribe, and notify. Normal stuff today. Larry Goldberg at around 4-ish. And Brian Wang at around 5:45-ish. Did I say Wang? Brian White at 5:45. Yes, please hit all those things and then join Patreon. That'd be great. Okay. 𝐂𝐦𝐚𝐲 letter this morning says the relationship between the US dollar and the treasury yields has broken down. Since April 2nd, the 10-year note yield has risen 27 basis points to 4.43, but at the same time, the US dollar index has declined 5.2 to near its lowest level in 3 years. This is a material shift from the pattern seen in recent years where the dollar and the treasury yields have moved with high positive correlation. So 𝐂𝐦𝐚𝐲 wants to blame it on all the tariff chaos. I would say that the tariff chaos might be involved, but I think it has something to do with bond vigilantism. I really believe that's going on. I believe there's a lot of folks that are trying to push the Republicans for bigger and bigger cuts, and I think that's having a big impact. From the ISM manufacturing report this morning, economic activity in the manufacturing sector contracted in May for the third consecutive month, following a 2-month expansion preceded by 26 straight months of contraction. So during the Biden administration, it was going down, 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 down for 26 straight months. During the first couple of months of the Trump administration, it was popped up a little bit, and now it's saying it's going down again. I was a little surprised by this because we're hearing a lot of information about people moving their production to the U.S. suppliers. So the manufacturing PMI registered 48.5% in May. That is 0.2 percentage points lower than the 48.7 in April. The overall economy continued expansion for the 61st month after 1 month of contraction. So overall, good, just manufacturing down a bit. The manufacturing PMI above 42.3% is actually positive. The new orders index contracted for the 4th month in a row following a 3-month period of expansion. The May reading on the production index is 1.4% higher, actually, than April's figure. The prices index remain in expansion or increasing territory, registering 69.4%, down 0.4% from the reading in April. And the backlog of orders was up 3.4%. So it sounds a lot better than the headline sounded worse than the details. Construction spending, on the other hand, was estimated at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 0.4% below revised March. So this is back to April. The April figure is 0.5% below the April of 2024. So down year over year and down month over month. Private construction was seasonally adjusted 0.7% below. So it looks like private residential construction was a big reason for this, not unsurprisingly because of what's happening with interest rates. Public construction, the estimated seasonally adjusted annual rate was 0.4% above. So public construction is still going well. And highway construction was also above. So there you go. So the market news, the overall economic news this morning, pretty much flat, nothing big going in either direction. So what is happening now with the markets after all of that? Okay, so after having a big down strike at the very beginning of markets this morning, everybody was down. Tesla was down more than the rest, but everything is perking back up, including Tesla. So I'll start with Tesla is now down 2.44%. We've got the Dow Jones down 0.39%, NASDAQ up 0.34%, and S&P up 0.02, almost exactly flat this morning. And so that's where we are this morning on those. With regard to the Magnificent Seven, you've got everybody up except for Google is down 1.46%. And the Cathie Woods are mixed, mostly up. Interestingly, ARK K and ARK G are both up, even with Tesla down. So that's pretty interesting. Let's go check NVIDIA real quick. NVIDIA is up 1.84%, not that strong. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the bonds, which last time I checked was really bad news. The bonds are up 4.6 basis points, recovering almost all the momentum from last week, going in the right direction, now going in the wrong direction. So we're back to 4.466. We have got oil up $2.32 this morning to 63.11. Rig count falls. So U.S. crude oil rises, rig count falls. So the oil industry was a little unhappy with the prices they could get, so they cut back on production, pricing going up. Natural gas up 7.22%. That's a big jump this morning to $33.69. Gold also leaping this morning, $81 to 3,369. Call it 3,370. Silver up 5% this morning to 34.69, nipping at that $35 price, the all-time high with an asterisk. And yeah, you'd have to be on here every day to know what I mean by that asterisk. Copper up 3.83% to $4.85, getting close to that $5. Okay, you've got the dollar mixed. The tariffs are causing worry on the dollar again. Bitcoin down another 863 to 104,000. And there you go. That is the markets. So, what have I got that I need to remind you about? There wasn't anything really last night. What I did this morning, though, is I took that videos, those 4 videos that I did last weekend that are still absolutely evergreen, talking about the combination of Elon Musk, President Trump, AI, humanoids, Robotaxi, the all the tariff work that's being done, et cetera, et cetera. All this stuff coming together as a confluence of events, or is confluence the right word? Anyway, coming really, really a lot of stuff coming together that I believe will cause the overall economy in the United States, around the world, actually, to start really going crazy by the fourth quarter. And then into next year, it will just be amazing. And by the way, I'm not alone in this. A lot of people, especially in the tech world, believe that this is going to happen. I took all 4 of those, put them together in an hour-and-a-half video. If you didn't see all of them or you didn't see any of them, that video is what I will point to right here. And then later today, as mentioned, Larry Goldberg, and then Brian White, rather, at 7:45 California time. All right. One last look just to see. I bet you the Tesla hasn't moved at all, because that's kind of how things were looking. 2.48% down, $337.86. That's it for now. It's been great talking to you.